Hey guys, I'm Sushi Babe. So instead of making me look like a dickhead by revealing something I hate, you get to see me praise something for my first review. And I will be reviewing one of my most favorite anime, Requiem for the Phantom. Let's go! Requiem for the Phantom is an action thriller that has mafias, yakuzas, assassins, and sexy women. It is a story adapted from a visual novel called Phantom of the Infernal. Yes, a visual novel. The who would you like to have sex with games. However, this anime manages to adapt the story and roots of the visual novel into the anime quite nicely, and didn't feel as disjointed as I expected it to be, despite minor issues where some scenes felt like they were slapped in for the sake of the show staying more true to its original material, and damn does it feel like a great standalone show. The story of Requiem for the Phantom revolves around a teenaged foreigner named Reggie who wakes up in a dark room. Not only does he have little to no knowledge of his location, but he has also lost his memory of his own identity. As Reggie tries to escape this confusing situation, he attempts to flee from this place and possibly find help. However, he encounters a mysterious girl named Ayn who starts attacking him. Little does he know that he is being monitored by Scythe Master, who wants to see how much potential he has to become an assassin. Reggie is now forced to be renamed as Y, which means two in German, alongside with Ayn, her name meaning one in German. These two are known as phantoms who work for the criminal organization known as the Infernal. Why are they considered phantoms, you may ask?
私たちはどこにも存在できない亡霊、誰でもないファントム。
The pacing of the show is pretty solid. We get to see training montages for a couple of episodes as we watch Reggie develop his skills, but at the same time losing faith of who he is. It also gives us a good taste of what the Phantom's missions are like, without turning it into a mission of the episode formula. We see the conflicts between crime organizations and how things are settled between them. Things are always happening in each episode, so the show never feels like it's pissing about. The time skips that happen in the show are used quite well, and the skip to the time where something significant is taking place in the story. Because of this, we get to gradually see the characters change and develop throughout the whole series. Yes, this anime can be quite cliched, I'll admit, but they really know how to emphasize a scene well with it and make you feel thrilled. Just watch how Reggie frightens someone by effortlessly going after him while his victim feels completely vulnerable. During the scene, you're probably like, Jesus Christ, just shoot the guy already. But at the same time, you're like, oh my god, this is so fucking awesome! Requiem for the Phantom has some really well directed scenes, and I'd have to give it credit for that. The story is very entertaining despite it being dark and depressing. But then again, Gen Urobuchi did take part in writing this, and we all know that this guy is an asshole towards nearly all the characters he writes about. Yeah. The characters are absolutely fascinating. I find them to be quite compelling, and they do develop a lot throughout the whole course of the show. Especially with the two main characters, Ayn and Reggie. The lack of any attachment to their previous lives and struggle to keep on living by taking other people's lives not only causes them to feel disgusted with themselves, it also questions whether they want to become part of humanity again despite everything that they've done. Most of the decisions they make are actually legit and nothing dumb to the point where it's cringeworthy, and making horrible unrealistic decisions is a problem a lot of shows have. Thankfully, Requiem for the Phantom doesn't have it as much, and that's where the characters come off as really likable and helps you sympathize with them more. Most of the character development is focused on Reggie, who starts as a noob and next thing you know he's a fucking pimp who wears pink shirts and he's a professional assassin. He even has his own swag music. Listen to this shit.
ずいぶん早かったわね。ただいま戻りました。水真っけな。つばい。
Oh, I'm sorry guys, I seriously can't take him seriously every time this music plays. Jokes aside, Reggie goes through a lot of changes and you can see this clearly during the time skips. Let's just say you can't have a good show without a good protagonist, and Requiem for the Phantom delivers. The show has quite a large cast, but the supporting characters are used quite tastefully and a lot are given some depth. They serve a purpose in the story and are not brushed off randomly like other certain shows do. I'm looking at you, Sword Art Online! I actually liked a lot of these side characters and ended up caring for them, one of them being Cal, which her extreme violent nature in the future was foreshadowed very well. The only issue I had with the characters is the main antagonist, who comes off as extremely generic and seems as if he's been written in the story without much acknowledgement that he is going to be an important aspect of the show, and this really damaged it sadly. The animation is quite good, the general art style really sets the tone and atmosphere. There are times when it felt dark and gloomy and it's really interesting to look at. However, there are times when I thought the frame rate was quite horrid for a few scenes and they could have put a bit more work into it. I also wish that they could avoid using CGI animation since it really doesn't blend well and just looks eek. The soundtrack, however, is extremely intriguing. I absolutely loved the music. It's the element of the show that really stood out and gave Requiem for the Phantom its own identity. And it did what the art manages to do as well. It really does set the whole atmosphere of the show. They did well on placing different music in their respective scenes. Like when an intense scene plays out, the music becomes very fast paced and thrilling to keep you at the edge of your seat. It even knows how to blend well with the character's emotional state. Some soundtracks were a bit overused, like this one for example. Oh my god, make it stop! But besides from Reggie's swag overload music, Requiem for the Phantom has an amazing and unique soundtrack, and I wish that they had a bit more variety so it can avoid sounding repetitive.
Phantom.
Requiem for the Phantom is nowhere near perfect. It's not really a story that we haven't seen before, but it's something that managed to feel unique in its own right. The way it delivers its well-directed scenes, how depressing yet engaging it feels to be experiencing a show like this, is a show that I strongly recommend. I give this show an 8 out of 10. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for future anime reviews and parodies. And make sure to follow me on Hummingbird. I like to post some of my thoughts on anime shows on my live feed, and I do keep people updated with what I'm doing with my videos. I really hope you enjoyed my first review. Have a good day.